Hey everybody, so it's time for another game zone, and what we're going to be doing is, I say that a lot already, I've noticed. What we're going to be doing is setting up our games, and we're going to be doing them in steps by way of chests. Each chest has all the materials needed for each step, and I figured it's a way to make everything a little more precise when I'm doing this, so it goes a little bit faster. And in the middle of when I'm not explaining what I'm doing, I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about what I'm going to be doing with this series, and it should be pretty good. So we're building darts today, and so I'll get right into it. Boop 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 boop. Put these up front. We're going to be needing them first, and you're going to need to start this project, you're going to need to dig a hole that is roughly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 deep. And you're going to be putting holes in the bottom, but those aren't going to be super necessary. So let's go. Those aren't going to be until later. So we're going to start here. And we're just going to draw this out a little ways, and that. So we're going to put our hole right about here. Should give us plenty of room. And that's that. This is going to be used to take our input from the bullseye in darts down to the output, which is in the center of our thing. Let me just real quick check how many blocks this is. It's 1, 2, 3. So and the way I did this, it's not a perfect circle, and that might bug some of you. So you're going to be able to change the circle a bit from what I did, and it's not going to be super hard to do that. So really it's just at your leisure. This time I didn't do a perfect circle because it's going to save a lot of time. So we go out 3 again on every side. We're going to go up 1 because this is how we stagger to keep our signals from intermingling, because if they do that, then we're going to end up with a game we just can't play, and you're going to be getting points for the bullseye when you didn't hit the bullseye, and that's no fun. This is a game in the arcade series, which the arcade series are games that actually have score output that you're going to be able to set up a testificate prize center, where basically the prize for winning is tickets, because librarians will trade 20 paper for an emerald, and you can use those emeralds in the prize center, where you have all the different testificate villagers with all kinds of goodies set up to buy from them, and it's going to be pretty interesting, and you'll see that in a later video. Next thing is just 3 from that side, and this is where we flesh it out into more of a circle. It's a little bit triangular, as you can see, but it's round enough right there, so it should be alright. So we go 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Sorry, making a circle takes a little bit of a brain ram. And So while I'm doing this, because this is pretty menial, I'm going to talk a little bit about what I'm going to do in the series. Let me look at my notes here. So most of these games are going to be pretty accessible to build in survival. Like, a lot of times you see these great games built in Minecraft that you really just can't play unless you download the world, because they have massive computers behind them. And those are really fun games if you do download the worlds. But it's really not friendly towards bringing them to your server or single-player world just to play on your own whenever you feel like. You have to go into the world. And with these games, what I'm trying to accomplish is really make it more friendly towards that. And I'm hoping I can do a pretty good job of it. Hopefully. You guys will be the judge. And you'll be able to tell me in the comments with, I'm sure, quite helpful input. So we put this, we got the 3, the 1, then 2, then 1s. So it really fleshes out the circle a little bit more. Hold on. I'll turn down the sound as well so you can hear if it does start to rain again. So it won't be as bad. Should have really done that ahead of time. Gonna have to apologize for that. So the next step is pressure plates will be going on top of these. So you have to put redstone beneath where the pressure plates will be, and they have to all link up to where the outputs will be. And this second row is a little bit special because it uses block update switches, and I'll explain those when we get to them. But basically, these are how we tell what score you got for which one. So the first one is pretty lenient, and you can just be really lazy with the placement of the redstone, which I'm gonna be. You can be more sparse with it, and you won't have a problem. But I'm not gonna be, because I'm in creative mode. So and for the record, I have built all of these in survival, so I do know that they're very accessible to play in to build and play in survival. And some of the servers that I play on have these. The next one is a cross on each of these, and then a dot in between each of these. So I'm going to do 2 versions for the upgrade video to this, where, see what happens right there? And the same thing would happen with the block above it, because as you power this, because a pressure plate would be on here, as you power that, it would power that. So that's why you need to isolate all these wires. There's going to be 2 upgrade videos. One will be for cows as the darts, and then the other one will be villagers as the darts. This is a little more complicated because it needed to all be one. And the outputs that we're going to pull from here are going to come from each corner, because I believe from this point and is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, this point, we're going to pull them out from each of these edges here. And that's where our outputs for this line is going to be, because the limit wouldn't make it if you landed here and you only had them on either of the 2 sides. So they're going to be on each side, and they're going to meet up on the same line. And the way we can isolate that is by putting repeaters that lead to the main output, so it can't loop around and cause it to continuously be on. So we're going to do this. We make a square and come across, and then it's a square, then a larger square. Oh my gosh, this is just tough. It's a larger square, and then a smaller square. I believe. Yes. And we get 3 large squares. Alright, my bad, guys. Now we put the small one here, and this one is actually probably as compact. I'm sure someone could make it more compact, as this is the minimal redstone as far as I've found for this size. And if you make this one bigger, you can make this one bigger and the inside one bigger. To make this one bigger, it would be quite a challenge, and I'm not going to be showing you how to do that. So if you're savvy with redstone, you'll be able to do it no problem. But if you're a newer player attempting this, you should be able to do it, because a big thing that I'm really hoping to make is make this series friendly for all different skill levels of player, so none of the games are inaccessible to players just because they're new and they don't understand all the mechanics. So I really want to try to explain everything I do, which I didn't necessarily do in the first video, but I will be doing from then on. So our center is the bullseye, so obviously we're going to make this red. Did I finish talking about the darts? Yeah, the difference between using villagers and cows as darts is that cows, obviously a lot easier to get over and, you know, bring them to the area and keep their populations up, but you're never gonna miss, almost never at least. With a villager, it adds a little more of another skill aspect to it, so it really makes the game a little bit more dynamic. And that might seem like a large bullseye, but the platform that they stand on is going to be quite big, so it's actually quite hard to hit the bullseye. The second ring, however, not quite the same. So as I build these rings, let me refer to my notes again. Alright, I might be closing in on all I had to say about the series. Didn't want to take too much time to read my notes. So I'll save some of it. So our lines go here. This is the best way for me to figure out where I need to be putting the pressure plates. We're using stone pressure plates because if you decide to use something like skeletons or some other mob, there isn't a chance of mob drops causing false positives for hitting the target. So we're gonna go in and we're gonna stagger these, and this is what I was talking about, where it's possible to miss, because when you're using testificates or zombies, skeletons, what have you, it's possible for them to fall. Though I have a version with testificates they rarely do fall exactly in one square, so you're usually going to get it. Except with this one, you're a lot more likely to miss on this because you've got these edges where if they hit these corners, it's really going to be a little bit more likely that there will be a miss. So it kind of adds a aspect of realism to it, which I really liked, that I wasn't expecting when I initially started building. So we're just about done with this step. So once we get the pressure plates down, we'll move on to step 2, and I'm going to empty out my inventory back into the chest and pull out the next stuff. And we're going to move into taking the outputs out of the thing. We're not going to take them all the way to our scoreboard and ticket dispenser, but we will be setting up the framework to get them out of here and into the next setup. And you can do this in whatever color you want, like stone. It's all up to you. I particularly like this kind of colored target deal. The other thing about having these staggered the way they are is that you don't run the risk of having 2 be hit at once, because you obviously can't. Like, you can't hit this one if you're going to hit this one. You're either going to hit this or you're going to hit here, which is quite nice. So the nice thing about this is it's pretty simple apart from nope, didn't go there. It's pretty simple apart from the middle line. The middle line is a little bit difficult, but I'm going to try to get you through it if you're newer and don't have a super firm grasp on redstone. I'm going to need to take a drink here, because my mouth is getting a little bit parched. Alrighty. And I'm going to do the entire build, so you guys will see from start to finish just how to do everything. And remember, you need to have a hole 8 deep. So this needs to be your floor level. I mean, this can be raised, but you want to have room to excavate so your wiring is hidden. And it looks a little bit like a UFO. I really like it. So don't be intimidated by this. This is actually quite simple. And we're going to show the breakdown of it right here. So we've got the pressure plates placed and the redstone in place, so everything is hooked up properly. So let me just demonstrate these really quickly. Here we have our main one. This is going to be the bulk of the ones we're building. The corners where the 2 meet, I'll explain that in a second. So this would be essentially something hitting the button, and you're going to take the signal either from probably from here down and out, which goes into a ring that has the same repeater setup than the other one does. It just has a slightly smaller ring, and the other one has a ring that goes slightly larger than it. So that's it. And these repeaters are important, because if you don't put a repeater and you just have redstone dust coming out of here, I'll show you real quick. it does a double pulse right there. So you'll get 2 pulses, and you don't want that, because then it'll send 2 pulses to the score, and that'd be bad. Oops. Alrighty. It should be. Oh, it's powered on by default. So what we need to do is do this, then push this. Nope. Gotta put the piston in after. Now we go boop. And this will cause a block update, which will turn it off. Oh my gosh. I'm just messing everything up now. There. Christ. Under pressure. So these are going to be pulling out our inputs from these sides right here that come straight out. And we have the corners here, which need to share a block, so they have to have the same piston status, or powered status, no matter what. The one thing to note about these is it'll be fine so long as they're hit together. But what happens here is that sometimes this can be pushed up, which eventually they will right themselves, which is what makes them really well functioning. So if we stand, I believe, on this one, and then this one, and then both, they'll right themselves, which will naturally happen as you're playing. So it won't be a problem. And if only one is hit, it'll come right back up. And if this one's hit, it'll come right back up. And pretty much guaranteed that you're gonna hit both of them if you're gonna hit both of them. So you won't really run into that problem where it does that, because what happens when they do that is that this piston will no longer go down because it doesn't have the powered state to this block, which causes the block update. And these powered rails basically cause an instantaneous block update, so there's no real delay on it. So we go here, then both, and then they reset. So the first one we're going to be starting on is the center ring, and we're just going to run the signal down. We're going to use, let's grab another colored wool. So we'll use green because I really like that color. So we're going to come down in here, and we go boop boop, and then we put the blocks. We need to make 2 pillars, right? And these pillars need to stagger, so we're going to have a block here, so we can't have a block here. We're going to have a block here, so we won't have a block here, and so on. And then we get to the bottom, and so our signal is going to come out this direction. So what we do is we put redstone on the tops of each of these, and this is how you take a redstone signal down vertically without taking up too much space. So it'll continually power this one off. So as long as you have an even number, this one will be off. If you have an odd number, which you shouldn't have if you're doing an 8 deep hole like I told you to, or like I suggested, you don't have to listen to me at all. It'll work out just fine like that. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do our block update ones, because these ones are a little more complicated. So, yeah, no, I did it right. See, the reason we put a cross there is so that either one of these will activate just the one button switch. So we only need one. So we put our block down there. I'm using a gold block because I feel like being fancy. Next thing, we're going to put our piston down. Then this, we're going to dig a hole. and we're going to put a redstone torch in here. Now, we need to put our repeater facing this way. And remember why we need to use a repeater, because otherwise it'll pulse twice, and we really don't want that. So then we put our torch, which will invert the signal, and then up 1, and then 1, 2, and then cut that out, because we just don't need it. Then we put dust on here, so now you'll hear it as I step on here, hopefully, if I can turn the volume down too low. Our piston fires. From either one of those 4, which is good. So let's do those, and it goes just right in the center here. So let's do this like this. Now we're gonna put the tracks on top. Then we're gonna put the piston. Then the wool on the piston, and in fact we can go over 1 with the wool. Oops, that's in the way. Well, alright, I'll just hold on to that stuff because it should just go right up in here. I need that and that separated because I'm going to put these back in the chest when I'm done. Wool block there, wool block there. Now we're going to be doing our repeaters and our torches because they're right next to each other. Torch, repeater, oops, forgot the first torch on the other one. So, whole torch, whole torch, repeater, torch. Now we're going to put our wool down. 1, 2, 3. And I can explain the principles of a bud switch to you, but all you need to know is that it works. And if you want to find out how a bud switch works, you probably already know him, but I'd suggest go checking out Etho's Lab on YouTube. Good old YouTube. Oh, I did that wrong. Well, they don't need to be facing outward. And in fact, we don't really want them facing outward, so I'll fix that and then get back to you after I fix that. Alright, so I fixed that, and I hope I didn't mess anybody up who was following along. You do the same thing, you're just doing it inward, because we don't want them outward, because we want this space free to take the signal from here down whichever way we please. Which we can actually just take down with regular redstone wire. We don't have to take it down with bud switches with a direct vertical. And it'll save a lot of time in the delay. Let me just check real quick because I'm really paranoid that I'm not recording. Okay guys, I'm back. So the next one we're going to be doing is, yeah, let's do the outward facing ones. So the outward facing ones come in right, here's one here. So this is the one that connects to this, and then this is the one that connects here. So you're going to go 1 over diagonally from, you're going to go 1 over and then diagonally 1. Diagonally 1. We're going to do the same thing for here. Which we'll just use them later. We're not going to work on them right now because I'll give you as many chances to memorize the setup for these straight shot ones as you can possibly tolerate. Alright, so we're going to head up here. We're going to put our rails down. They all use the rails. And the nice thing about this is it doesn't take up a massive amount of resources. I think you can get by with making only 3 sets of tracks. Yeah, because no, you gotta make 4. So that's only like 24 gold. So that's not super bad. Next step, these are going to come out because they're not going to interfere the same way. So we're going to go boop, 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 boop. I said I wasn't going to work on the doubled up ones, but kind of am. Just making it go a little bit faster so we don't need to wait on putting the pistons in. So these ones come directly out, and I'm building this backwards a little bit. So, boop. Wool. And boop. So, torch. 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 Then we put our repeater, and then our torch. Then redstone. And that's that. So let's try to continue to make this concise. Hope that I have this done. Nope, I'm fine. And so let's do all our wool before we do the next steps. So we get wool. Getting close to done here. And hopefully this is fairly understandable. That's really what I'm aiming for. And I'm probably going to be doing most of the longer builds in 2 episodes because that's just how I think it'll end up being. Put these, torch, we get all our torches in. That one has a torch already. That one needs one. That one needs one. Torch. Whoa. Sometimes you just fall into blocks. It's really weird. Ready? So looks like we've got all our torches in, so let's go ahead and put our repeaters. So let's get the wool on top of these. Let's just go ahead and put these on all of them. And we're getting close to done here. We're just going to have to go over the build for the other one. There. So now we can attach the redstone, because if you attach the redstone and there's power going into these first, as soon as you put the wool block on and do that second, it'll end up causing it to extend. And you don't want that. You don't want uneven signals. You don't want it to be sending off a powered signal when it shouldn't be. So we're going to look over here, and we can actually manage to put the redstone here, and it can be regular redstone, and it won't cause a double update because we do have repeaters, and the repeaters fix that problem. And we're going to have to be making these 2 out because we've got 2 spaces here, and these come into the same switch powering this. And so whenever it goes down, they're powered and unpowered in unison. So no matter which one is powered down, the same one will be powered up. They will both be able to update. It took me a little while to come up with that, I have to admit, because I really messed up a few times when I was doing it. I was getting a lot of those, I'm going to be standing on this before I place that, because if I'm standing here, I'm stuck. Apparently you can't walk over those. So let's get our redstone repeater. Now go ahead and put our wool. We just cut out this block because we don't need it. And I think it might, I'm not really thinking about it here because I'm focusing on the wool. It might actually power the pistons directly, which would be bad. We don't want that. We want the pistons to be all goofed up and not have any idea what they should be doing. That's not true. We do want them to know exactly what they need to be doing. So, loop. Cut that one out. And one last time. I'm going to cut that one out. Go here, and then here. Here. So, redstone, repeater. We're not putting any delays on these repeaters because we don't need them. These are just to make sure that the pistons don't fire twice. Because we don't want to pulse the ticket dispenser twice. Now we've got torches all around. Now we go along with redstone and place it on the tops. And that will be the second row done. And essentially the third row is done because we don't actually need to pull the current out yet. So that's it for this. And yep, all done. Now we've got our kind of UFO looking thing. And I really like the way it looks. Just wiring. And it might have looked a little bit complex from the beginning, but as you probably have noticed, it's pretty easy. So I'm going to go ahead and put all this stuff back. Then we'll put down a second chest, decorations. This isn't a mod, by the way. I've been playing a lot on the new snapshot. So we're going to head over to the chest here, which will have our topside ingredients. A bit annoying that it always goes to the far right. Should have really clicked into those first. So what we're going to be doing here is building the pillar that our testificates and or cows will be dispensed to, and I should have been counting that out. So just do that again. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So for a cow, you need 15 from that bottom slot there, because if they hit the middle road, they won't die. And if they don't die, that's a problem. Because then they'll just be walking around down there, messing up your scores, all kinds of something fierce. And we don't want that. So cows need 15 blocks, because I believe cows have 10 hearts, and pigs and sheep and all that have 10 hearts. So you need 13 blocks so they die on impact. So you just do 15 for good measure, because sometimes when they hit the pressure plate, they don't manage to kick the bucket. It's weird, I know, but it happens. So I believe we were on 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So that's the height for testificates. And I'm going to set this one up for the height for testificates, because that's just what we're going to be doing. And you don't really need sorting, you just need mob evader, which I will be covering in the upgrade video for this. And we make the platform just like this, so that they've got plenty of room, that they don't feel pressured to jump off right away. We've still got a bit of difficulty getting to this. You might want to try experimenting with a smaller platform, maybe just that without these edges, but I find the edges really help make it make it a little bit more skill oriented, where you can actually use those edges to get the bull's eyes. So that's all we need there. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be building a wall around the edge here. And again, you can use whatever material you want. I'm just using this because I rather like it. Give me a second here. Alright, so I think once I finish this wall, that's going to be it for this episode, and I'm going to catch you in the next episode, where we're going to finish the project, and hopefully hook it up to the dispenser, the ticket array. Alright, see you then.